This video is brought to you by
Cool Grain Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. Come on down, shop with us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you can't come and shop with us in person, go online right now at coolgrainclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way, and that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details to the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. No matter where you come from, one thing we all got in common in this life is we have to find a way to survive. For a lot of people, they might have grew up the traditional way, going to get a job to support themselves and their family. Going off that old saying, if you don't work, then you don't eat. But others like that fast money, especially if you come from an environment where everybody and their mother are getting high. They feel it's easier to just grab a pack and go hit the block to make a few dollars. Once people jump into the streets, everybody think they are smarter and know more than the next man or woman. We all think we know the game and how it's supposed to go, how to carry ourselves while running down the rules to yourself every day before going outside. Most forget the number one rule though. That is, it's really no rules. No loyalty, no honor, and everybody is trying to survive. Even if that means taking something from you to make sure them and their peoples are straight. Trapping, hustling, hitting the block, whatever they call it in your part of the world, it's a go-to for a lot of people. They often feel the reward outweighs the risk. Some people are even bold enough to leave their city where they know how everything shakes and bakes at and go somewhere else, not knowing everybody plays the game different. What you might be able to do in one place, you probably can't do that in another. You add money in the mix, ego, respect, and survival. Now you have created a tense situation and an atmosphere that more than likely will make most people crash out. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be taking it all the way back to 2014 to discuss the case of a man who thought his plug was trying to finesse him, so he wanted revenge. Back in 2014, 26-year-old Lester Snyder was trying to navigate life in Baltimore. Lester lived in Windsor Mill in a nice neighborhood with his mother, in which he often helped out with the bills. But Lester wasn't alone. He was in a committed relationship with a 26-year-old woman named Megan Goforth, who also stayed at his mother's house with him. The young couple trying to find their way out here and keep a couple dollars flowing, Lester decided he would hit the streets rather than get a job. And instead of moving solo, him and his girlfriend Megan could be business partners. He would sell the product and she could take him to make the sales since she had a car. Besides, he had to help out Mom Dukes, and fast money, what could go wrong? Lester felt like it was cool trapping in Baltimore City and Baltimore County, but it was a lot of competition. So he took the show on the road, and him and Megan would often travel to Carroll County and make their plays. After solidifying his spot out there, Lester couldn't believe his luck when one day he met a 23-year-old man from the Bronx, New York, named Luis Javier Paul, who everybody in the area called A1 because of his product. It was supposed to be the best in town. A1 carried himself differently, and him and Lester were both from different areas, but very much into the same business. So as they started chopping it up about price, A1 quickly told him, like, yo, I can go up top, get that for you for way cheaper, and bring it back, letting Lester know he was plugged in. After that conversation, A1 became his plug, thinking now he could make more money, get the work for a lot cheaper, and have product nobody had in town. Lester was excited, and business did pick up. With nobody feeling like they were stepping on each other's toes, Lester and A1 both trapped out Westminster and other parts of Carroll County and it seemed like it was all love. In October 2014, Lester had stacked up about 2 racks or $2,000 and called A1 telling him like, yo, I'm ready to re-up. He told him perfect timing. I'm about to go up top, so just give me your money. A few days would go by without A1 contacting Lester, and him and Megan were in a bind. Their BG&E bill was due. For out-of-towners, that's Baltimore, gas and electric. And Lester had put all his money towards his re-up. He became concerned, thinking A1 had took him off and went back to the Bronx. Until on October 4th, he received a call from a young lady and mutual friend of the two. She stated like, yo, A1 back in town. I heard you was looking for him. Thinking it was time to get right, Lester told Megan, let's pull up. When he got to the spot though, A1 didn't give him no money back or no product. Thinking he was treating him like a sucker, Lester quickly got irritated. As A1 told him it would be coming shortly. He got back in the car with Megan, heated. They still didn't have the bail money, knowing his mother would be geeking on him. But while out riding, Megan would receive a call. It was A1, asking her could she give him a ride to a house in the area where he stayed while he was in town, with a woman who copped from him and Lester. That's when Lester thought, yo must think it's a game, telling Megan, I'm about to rob him. Lester got in the back seat, and when Megan pulled up to grab A1, he looked in the car, thinking it was strange for him to sit in the front and for Lester to be sitting in the back. They told him that Lester was hot and had warrants in the area for his arrest. So he got in the car and it seemed like a normal ride. Then when they got to a highway by the lady's house A1 was going to stay at, he started getting his stuff together before he got out. Once he got out the car, to his surprise, Lester jumped out right behind him and started letting off shots. Confused on what was going on, A1 called out like, what did I do, bro? I didn't do nothing to you. But Lester was on a mission. Once A1 fell to the ground, he went in his pockets and took a bag he had, then quickly ran back to Megan's car. But A1's homegirl, who he was going to see, walked out just as they was pulling off and saw him land on the side of the road. Also a passerby who jumped out and called local police. He gave them a description of the car they saw fleeing. As Lester prayed they made it back to Baltimore safe, he locked the gun in the glove compartment. But only a few miles up the street, lights got behind them and the couple was pulled over. Police told them Megan's car fit the description of a vehicle that might have been involved in the shooting. The two played it off, stating they were heading home. Police noticed blood on Lester, but he stated he had a cut that kept on bleeding. They asked to search the car, but Megan told them no. And with no probable cause, police wrote down the vehicle's information, took the couple's name, and let them go, not knowing the scene waiting for them down the street. As police got to the location of the shooting, they found Luis suffering from multiple gunshot wounds, and unfortunately, he would be pronounced gone on the scene. By that time, Megan and Lester had made it back to a friend's house in Baltimore County. He went through the items A1 had and became angry, saying, yo, I did all that, and he only had $300 on him. He gave his homie the gun, poured bleach on his hand, and tried to get rid of the gunpowder residue, bleached his clothes, and gave them to Megan to get rid of. She took the items to the apartment dumpster. Then they went home for the night. The next day, Lester woke up, still shaken up. He told Megan to go pay the BG&E bill and gave her some money, stating get her some fugs or cigarettes for out-of-towners, and also a Rello so they could smoke and wash the car. She did what she was told, not knowing police was on their heels. While leaving the car wash, she was stopped and taken into custody for questioning. At first, Megan tried to stand on all 10, even after police told her people in Carroll County was telling them Lester shot Luis over drug money and territory. She claimed her boyfriend didn't do nothing, but witnesses were talking, including a woman A1 was going to see, who looked out the window that night and saw Lester shooting at him. That same day, Lester was also taken into custody. They were both charged with first-degree hit, robbery, and other charges. As Luis' family grieved, many people went to the location he took his last breaths at to show some love, and some felt he wasn't trying to get over on Lester, but he was waiting for the pack to come in. As Megan saw what she was facing, she quickly changed her tone as prosecutors approached her with a deal, stating, we know you are just a driver. Testify on your boyfriend Lester, and we will make sure that you make out. As the case started making its way to trial, Lester was surprised to see the people he used to serve testifying on him, but as Megan took the stand, his heart dropped. She told the courts she knew he was mad at Luis about the money he gave him, but she thought he would just rob the man, not take his life. That's the only reason she stated she went along with the plan. She tried to throw Lester a life jacket, saying he wasn't a bad guy. He felt his hand was forced and went home, cried, saying, yo, it wasn't even worth it. Prayed and asked for forgiveness for what he had done. During cross-examination, Lester's attorney pointed to the fact Megan was a willing participant and really Lester's business partner, stating she could have been just as mad about the situation as Lester, but she had already saved herself, getting a deal of a 15-year suspended sentence for accessory, meaning she would be released for time served for her cooperation in a situation. Lester was cooked, with the crime seeming premeditated and also drug-related. He was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Rest in peace to Luis. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. I know A1 had to know the rules of the streets and that things are all about perception and not always what the truth is. He could have had all intentions on giving Lester his bread back or the product, but it looked like he took him off. And in the streets, if you let somebody take something from you, you might as well retire and hang it up. And I'm sure that's how Lester felt. But when we break down the whole situation, this all was for $2,000. Nowadays, that's no bread at all. But in certain environments, it could be $100. Unfortunately, it's more about the principle and the respect. Now, one life gone and one not never coming home again. The streets always come out undefeated and the cycle just continues. But I'm gonna leave this one open. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on the situation. Leave it in the comments. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace to that man. I definitely send my prayers to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all leave it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.